Hello everyone, good afternoon. In the last lecture we talked about the advantages of SaaS. So in particular we talked about a very low upfront cost. We talked about the setup and deployment process, how it is fast, it is agile. Your services are easy to upgrade while using the SaaS model. A lot of services are accessible, all you need is your phone and an internet connection. So accessibility is very high. Scalability is also there. If you are a person who is running a service, you can rely on the cloud to scale up as needed. So there was this one example of like football match. If a match is going to run at night, like from 8 to 12 maybe, during that period the traffic will be very high in a particular region, right? So the resources in the cloud will be shifted to cater to the needs of that particular region. Maybe 2 days later there is a different country which needs a lot of resources. So cloud can easily scale, cloud can easily allocate and reallocate the resources which are available, and very smart strategies are used to do that. That is where the true work in cloud computing lies. How to deploy, how to strategize, if so and so happens, what are we going to do, right? And before this advantages of SaaS, we talked about the integration, the interaction dynamics, and there we found that there were a set of resources, and those very same resources were used over and over again, right? User A, B, C, D, E, F, user Z, anyone is coming, you will allocate one resource. When the resource is freed up, it will be rejoined in the resource pool and later on reallocated, right? So cloud is very much scalable, very much accessible. The upgrades are easy to do, the upfront cost of launching is very low, deployment can be easily done, it can be easily set up. There are a very wide range of applications which are available. The cost is very low, subscription based. The outage cost, the potential lost, like normally if you have a laptop, you are going to face some issues with that, right? But with cloud, with SaaS delivery model, you can rely on it. The cloud computing based model, the SaaS model, is very much reliable in that manner. You can simply be, rest assured that your service, hosted service, will be there. So these are all of the advantages for SaaS. But again, as there is another side to the flip of a coin, we have the disadvantages also. So the first key disadvantage is our lack of control. Lack of control over the services, over the applications, over the resources. Reading from the PPT, in-house software application gives businesses a higher degree of control than hosted solutions, where control resides with a third party. Typically, everyone has to use the latest version of the software application and cannot defer upgrades or changes in the features. Taking up the example which I last discussed in the advantages video also, if I am running a website, a blog using WordPress, right? If WordPress suddenly decides to change the looks of their platform, I cannot do anything about it, right? Suddenly WordPress decides that now you have to pay if the number of pages in your website exceed 10, right? So they imposed a limit on it, and after that you have to pay. As a user, I cannot do anything about it. On the other hand, if I would have assigned my blog to be hosted by a company existing in Delhi, right, then I would have control on it. I would know which resources are used, I would know which software platform is used, I would know which particular version is used, I would know what are my choices, how much I have to pay, depending upon what I want to do, right? So there was a lot of freedom, a free hand used to be there, and it can be understood by the fact that when you are paying and the party is right in front of you, you have a free hand to do whatever you want because you are paying for it, right? But when we talk about SaaS delivery model, you have no control over it. The only limited control which you have is your user level control, right? Where you can go access the service, just fiddle around with your own personal data, maybe access something from the internet or do whatever you are meant to do through that service, and then you come back. Overall, you cannot change how the service operates, how that application operates. You cannot change the underlying software of that application. You cannot change the looks of that application. In totality, you cannot change anything because there is no control at the user's end. Just take up the example of Gmail, right? For this disadvantages wala scenario, let's assume that Gmail as a service which is being delivered to us, a mailing service. We all have our accounts on Gmail. You can change the texture, the background wallpaper in Gmail, but can you actually change how it looks? Like if I ask you that there is a drop down menu in the left hand side and I want that menu to appear at the bottom of my page because that is how I like it, can you change it? Can I change it? No one can do that because we don't have control. All we have control over is I can compose a mail, I can send a mail, I can receive a mail, I can talk to anyone I want, I can access some of the other services which are being made available on the platform. But fundamentally, I don't have control to do anything other than that. Anything other than the behavior which is defined by the cloud service provider. So in that manner, the area in which you can walk, the area in which you can experiment or play, that is very much limited, and that area, those boundaries are defined by your cloud service provider. It is defined by how a service is being designed in the first place. So coming to the second, so that was my take on lack of control, right? Just try to think about it from your perspective also. Second point is security and data concerns. Access management and the privacy of sensitive information is a major consideration around cloud and hosted services. So when we talk about accessing cloud-based services, accessing any SaaS-based service, what you're going to do if you have to access, for example, Gmail, what you will do? You will use your phone or any digital device for that matter. You will open a browser and you will access the website by the address. You will use your username, password and get into it, right? You're using a web browser in the first place. You're putting your personal information in that web browser. Then you are shifting it. You are transferring it over a public internet which is accessed by everyone, and then you access the service which is made available to you. So if you look at it from the perspective of security, how secure is your browser? How secure is your device? How secure is your internet connection? Maybe your broadband connection or your phone connection. How secure is internet? How secure are the cryptographic mechanisms which are used to encrypt your username and your password? How secure are those algorithms? How secure is your access management strategies? If a session is established, for example, I log into Gmail using my web browser, right? How often do I need to log in? That is the decision of the cloud service provider. Maybe वो कह रहा है कि हर बार जब आप पेज विजिट कर रहे हो तो आप लॉग इन करो. Maybe the cloud service provider is saying that you don't have to log in, you have to log in every 3 days or maybe every 2 days, maybe every 8 hours. So there are a lot of security concerns with respect to that. You have to manage the identity of the user. ऐसा नहीं होना चाहिए कि कोई और आके access कर जा रहा है. You have to authenticate that. You have to authorize the user. Many takes involved. You have to manage the session. You need to have some sort of access control. Over here, we're just talking about SaaS for a particular service. When we go a little bit deeper, when we will talk about infrastructure as a service, at that point of time, when big companies hire cloud service providers to exploit IaaS service model to use any resource, any infrastructure from cloud, At that point of time, a number of employees are engaged. Maybe there are 100 employees, maybe there are 300 employees. You cannot give similar type of access to all the 300 employees for the resources. You will have to filter the access. You will have to give certain privileges to 10 of the employees, to 20 of the employees. Everything is going to differ, right? So the access control is a very big issue. Security is a very big issue. How the data is managed, how you are handling the sensitive information. Like there is this very little, guideline sort of a thing, that if you are using a browser for a particular task, supposedly I am running my business through a website, through a portal, using my Chrome web browser, then I should avoid using or exploring random stuff from other pages from my same browser. Maybe I can use UC browser for that, for random surfing of the internet. What happens is, when you're using one particular browser and you're accessing 10 different pages, you have no idea which page is taking your information out of your phone, right? You have no idea if your clicking patterns are being recorded, if your passwords are being recorded. So there is inherent risk involved, as with all of the services. But over here, whenever we're talking about accessing a service over cloud, directly accessing it, when we have no control over everything, we are just giving the data and accessing the data, we are utilizing the service, then we have a lot of security related concerns, right? So another key reason why major hotshot companies don't want to migrate to cloud, very big companies, they prefer to have their own, on-premises private cloud. And talking about the connection, yes, the third point, the third disadvantage is the requirement of a connection. Since the SaaS model is based on web delivery, if your internet service fails, you will lose access to your software or data. That is a very big thing. Like when I moved from one place to other, at one place I had a broadband connection, at the other place I did not have a stable internet connection, and that stopped me from getting my work done, right? Because I was so much dependent on the cloud-based services, on the services which are provided to me by the internet. So that is also a very big disadvantage. If I have my own system, if I have my own infrastructure, I can simply operate on it, right? Same thing happened with this COVID scenario also. A lot of people were working on connected systems, on clusters in the labs at our university. And once everyone went back home, now they don't have access to those machines. They don't have a platform jahan se wo remote login karke, they can access those machines. They don't have that type of software, they don't have that type of facility. So wo infrastructure stale pada hua hai in the university itself, right? Only when we will go and manually use it, then all of it will come to life. और यहाँ पे major take क्या आ रहा है? The connectivity. The connectivity is not there. So connectivity requirement is a big thing. Maybe you don't have a phone, maybe you don't have an internet connection, maybe you are unable to connect. So there are many things, and to solve this connectivity issue, क्योंकि ये बहुत बड़ा issue था. When we talked about cloud, it was a very, very big issue. Now these days we have like very good speed. At my broadband, I once took a screenshot. It was 72 Mbps. Can you imagine 72 Mbps of speed, right? It happens. And earlier, it was not a possibility. Like 5 years back, it was hard to imagine कि इतनी speed हम access कर पाएंगे. So at that point of time, to support the cloud-based services, to support जो एक cloud का paradigm shift था, so Google came into the picture and Facebook came into the picture. What they did was they deployed these internet balloons over remote areas जहाँ पे connection नहीं था, like in African countries. As a prototype, they did it. For internet connectivity, they launched their own, prototypes. कि internet connection में किसी को issue ना आए, so they can invest in a phone or in a device and they can access the services, right? But again, connectivity has been, and it might be, a very significant disadvantage for cloud-based services. Next is your performance. Performance is also a very big hurdle when we talk about SaaS. SaaS may run at somewhat slower speeds than on-premise client or server applications. So it's worth keeping performance in mind. And why is that so? Because your software is not running on a local machine. So if you're accessing a Gmail service, it might happen that sometimes, it won't load. Maybe your Facebook page is not loading. Maybe you are running a very huge data mining task, or maybe you are analyzing images for a particular pattern. You're running some image processing project, right? And you have to scan like 1000 images or 10,000 images, and you have to upload all of those images from your laptop. It is going to take time. Entire data will go to cloud, then it will be executed, and then you will get the results. So performance bottleneck, maybe executing any task for that manner, there is like a significant issue when we talk about performance, क्योंकि जो चीज़ आपके हाथ में है, the way it is going to run in a similar fast paced world, it cannot run if it exists virtually in some random world. It cannot happen. So performance with respect to SaaS is a little bit of compromise as compared to the original, if you had the original infrastructure at your own home. Next disadvantage is the regulatory and compliance related issues when we talk about SaaS. So when you're accessing any service on the cloud, you have no idea what particular regulatory procedures that company is following, what particular compliance related guidelines that particular cloud service provider is following. For example, to make you understand, European Union launched this framework, legal framework named GDPR, General Data Protection Regulation. So under this GDPR framework, it took them like 2-3 years to finalize, and it was finalized in 2018. So what they said was, if any company or any website is dealing with the personal information of European residents, anyone who is living in the European Union, if a company is accessing the data, personal data of EU residents, then that company must satisfy the GDPR compliance requirements. They must fall under the compliance which they have outlined. कि आप unnecessarily किसी का personal information leak नहीं कर सकते. You cannot record personal information of people. What is your safely, deleting the data of personal data of a user once that person leaves your platform? You cannot trade the personal information of that person. So there were a lot of legal things which a company has to make sure of before they launch their website or their service to the residents of European Union. Similar type of thing does not exist in other countries. There are some compliance related guidelines for USA also. China has a separate domain altogether. Russia is also different. But other countries who are operating in a free world, there are no guidelines, and that is why our data is being compromised. And the cloud service providers, they are a little bit hesitant and reluctant to fall into such type of legal frameworks. They don't want to get involved. They also like a free hand. So this is also a very big disadvantage. The major financial companies, why they don't migrate to cloud? Because this is their single most concern. Ki we have the data of taxes of such prominent people, of such prominent industries. We are managing unka pura account, and if that information is leaked, we don't have control. We don't have control. The company is not regulating with anyone. No compliances are followed. Then why should we trust a cloud service provider? So not being able to follow any regulation or any compliance is a major disadvantage to our SaaS delivery model. Last two are data mobility and the limited range of applications. So talking about limited range of applications, on one side it is this can be an advantage also, because we get a lot of services through SaaS delivery model, a lot of services. But on the other hand, if we particularly look at SaaS delivery model, not everything can be provided as a service. For some services you will need a platform. For some services you will need infrastructure, resources will be needed. So it's not as liberal as we imagined it to be. There are many limitations while talking about the type of applications which a SaaS delivery model can provide. And lastly, data mobility. Supposedly, just imagine if I ask you to migrate your email account, your Gmail or your Ymail or your Yahoo account, and if I say that you are such an important person or whatever, so your data must stay on a very secure service, and Google is not secure, so let's migrate you to some other platform. There is this website Tutanota करके ना, TUTANOTA. I don't know how to pronounce this. Tutanota. So this is a Germany based company, right? And it operates freely on funding by individuals. And what they offer is, they offer a very secure emailing service. So Gmail is also offering a email service, but it is not as secure as this platform is. So this platform, it is made in JavaScript, and what they are saying is कि हम आपको totally secure email service दे रहे हैं. We are not going to look into your data. आपका data आपकी keys के साथ encrypted है. So it is totally secure. That is our guarantee. And supposedly you want to migrate Gmail से आपको इस platform पे account बनाना है, and you want all of your previous data on this new account. How would you do that? कभी सोचा भी है? मतलब supposedly जैसे पहले Orkut was a platform, then Facebook become a thing. Supposedly I was like, in my time Orkut was a big thing, not Facebook. So Orkut, if I have an account in Orkut and after 3 years I realize that it is not a very big thing and Facebook is the new player. So what I did was I just created an account on Facebook. But if I was a business owner who was operating solely on Orkut, and then I had to migrate all of my business to Facebook, how would I do that? क्या मुझे Orkut कोई option देता है मेरा data access करने का in a very formatted manner? In WordPress, if you go, they will give you this option कि download your data, where you can import everything that you have uploaded. बहुत अच्छे से structured way में with your metadata you will get whatever you have uploaded. They have made that type of strategy, right? Why? Because once you buy a website on WordPress, then you have to migrate your data. But for most of the other platforms, there is no mechanism to smoothly migrate your data from one platform to another. So the data mobility becomes another disadvantage for SaaS delivery model. And there is no cloud service provider which talks about a clean exit strategy, because no one wants you to leave, right? There was this one thing which I read when I was learning about networks in my graduation. In the beginning, in the first, second or third lecture, I think my professor said this thing, that internet is like a spider's web. You can easily get in, but you can never get out without leaving some part of you behind. And that is very true, and it will always be true. It is very easy to enter the internet and the digital world, but it is not as easy to leave everything and go back. Same goes for your AWS, GCP, Azure, any type of cloud platform. They want the users to access their service, but once they do it, they don't want the users to leave. So there is no exit strategy for anyone. And that is again the last and the most significant disadvantage for SaaS delivery model, because you are robbing the users of their free hand, of their autonomy in a sense. So I hope I was able to make you understand. Rest, there might be many other disadvantages to SaaS. So keep thinking about it, brainstorming, and you can comment if you want in this video. So thank you very much.